Morning everyone, welcome back to the vlog. It's 7 o'clock in the morning or roundabouts, and raining. I'm hoping that the weather will clear up a little bit, but living in Scotland, pretty much if you don't go out in the rain, then you don't go out at all. So we've got to make the most of it. I'm heading to Rumblin Bridge Falls today, which is just west of the small town of Dunkeld and Burnham, and it basically follows the River Bran up from the Hermitage, and we're going to start at the other end today. And hopefully we've got the nice waterfall which comes down and goes under the bridge, hence the name, the Rumblin Bridge Falls. And hopefully as well we'll get some nice birch trees. We've still got a little bit of autumn colour left. So I like going to places where you get a little bit of variety, especially on wet days, because it means you've got a bit more choice. And the nice thing about these waterfalls are that there's a lot of rock formations, so if there's too much water coming down the waterfall, we can shoot the rock formations, and if that isn't any good, we've got lovely birch trees. So let's see what we've got. Once again, we're driving in Hampton, our camper van, and I haven't really talked much about our camper van. We've owned her for about 20 years plus. So I'll do a vlog, give you a bit of a van tour, and tell you about the story of how we purchased her and brought her back to the UK. So, but anyway, let's hope the weather clears up a little bit, and let's go see what images we can get today. See today why I wore the big wellies. I'm going to be stood in the water quite a bit, so I can always recommend a good pair of insulated boots with some good grip as well. these rocks are pretty slippy. So you can see I've positioned myself. I didn't video it because it wasn't very pretty, me getting across these rocks. But you can see I've positioned myself just at the sort of point that the water's coming down the next set of falls. The light's not brilliant. It's a little bit overcast, but I'm trying to set up and take a few shots so that then hopefully when the light does come in, then we can capture that as well. What should happen is we should start to get a bit of light coming from the left-hand side, my left-hand side, which will catch the golden leaves on the trees that are set at the back there. There's also a nice little, it's difficult to see, but there's a little small gate that's positioned at the back. And we've had a lot of rain, so it's coming down quite fierce. So the actual waterfall itself is, I wouldn't say it's looking at its best. There's a lot of water coming down from there. But what is nice is the actual flow of the water that is coming down from the waterfall, twisting round and coming down to the base. So with a nice long exposure, we should really get capture the nice flow of the water coming through. I'll show you on the back of the camera what I'm looking at the moment. Let me just... Okay, so let's set up the first composition. You can see from the back of my camera that I've got these rocks positioned just on the lower portion of my image, just to give it a little bit of foreground detail. I've got this nice branch on the right hand side that is just coming into, with the lovely green leaves that's coming in from the right there. We've got the nice falls in the background, which, as I say, we've not got a lot of detail in there, but we've got a lot of water coming down, that's for sure. We've got the lovely golden autumn colours in the back, and the actual sky's got quite dark, so I've just started to include a little bit of that, which is a nice contrast to the autumn colours in the background. I'm going to shoot a couple of exposures here. I'm going to shoot and expose for the waterfall to capture the movement. I don't want it too long, or I'm going to end up with a very white, soft image where the falls are. And then I'm going to take a longer exposure that will capture this lovely curve of water coming down, probably around about 1 second or 2 seconds. And then in post, I'm going to blend those two images together so that we get this nice flow of water, but we still hold the detail in the falls. So we'll take the shot, and here it is. So as I mentioned on the way here in the camper van, we've got the Rumbling Bridge Falls, which comes down through, tumbles under the bridge here, and then heads off down towards the Hermitage, where we have the Black Lynn Falls, which probably is more well known. A lot of the people that come to the area actually visit the Hermitage, but it's a nice walk. If you park this end and then walk down through some of the nice woodland area, you can then follow down and end up at the Hermitage. It's actually a nicer way of coming through here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's quite thundering through as it comes down under the bridge, but absolutely beautiful, and we'll see if we can find some more images. You have to wonder just how much water's coming down through there. Just incredible. across my next image. And every now and again you come across a photograph and you look at it and you think, is that going to make a good photograph? And sometimes it's not until you get it back onto the computer and you can see it on this big screen, you either think, yeah, glad I took that, or no, shouldn't have taken it, waste of time. But I think actually it's always worth it. Especially now that we can take as many photos as we like, so it doesn't really matter. So I've come across this lovely autumn scene. I'm going to just show you the image that I'm looking at on the back of the camera. It is just starting to rain a little bit. So as you can see from the back of my screen, we've got this lovely arrangement of autumn colour in these trees that are sat behind this beautiful bracken. We've got a small rock just on the left hand side there. Now the sky's grey and flat, and we're not really going to get much from including that in our shot. But what I'm planning on doing is taking a panoramic shot, so a series of photographs that basically start on the left hand side of this rock, and I'm going to take around about sort of 6 or 7 images and finish at the wee house just up in the hills there. You can see there's a small little tower and a small house, and then back in Photoshop I'm going to blend those images together. So really all we're capturing is that row of beautiful birch trees down in the bottom. Well, there's a little bit of a breeze, so I'm going to shoot at ISO 4 or 500 and aperture probably around about, I haven't got a great amount of depth in there, so probably around about f8. I'm shooting on my 80 to 200 lens. I've got a polarizer on, but to be honest with you, it's not really making an awful lot of difference. It's funny, when I get to a view like this, it reminds me of when I did my early when I started photography, and I did a couple of courses. This would have been down in the south of England, and did a couple of courses, and I remember I can't remember the tutor's name, but the person that took the course telling me, and this is one of the things that really sort of stuck with me, is that when you're looking at a large scene, you've got to remember that when we're taking it all in, it's not just the image that we're seeing with our eyes, but it's everything else that we're feeling as well. You know, there might be a slight breeze, it might be the cold air of the early morning, or it might be the warm sun that's coming through. And I think as a photographer, we're trying to capture that in our images as well. So in this instance, we're still on a hill, there's a little bit of a breeze coming through, so perhaps by capturing a little bit of a movement in those trees down the bottom there, we're allowing the viewer to feel that as well through the actual image. But we'll see. Anyway, well, I'll take the shots, and here's the image. Okay, so I'm just a little bit further down to the Hermitage now, and I'm just walking along the main path that comes up from there, and I've just come across this beautiful birch that's covered in lovely moss and is just capturing the light, just the side of it. And then on the left hand side we've got this splash of colour, the leaves are beautiful. So we've almost got two different sides to the trees. We've got on the right hand side we've got a dark green area, and then on the left hand side we've got some lovely light coming through. Okay, if we just take a look at the back of the camera, you can see that we've got the main tree right in the middle there. I mean, it's all about the sort of colour really, and the light touching the side of the tree. We've got this nice branch which comes up with the lovely moss hanging off of the branches there, and as you can see we've got this lovely bright light coming through on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side we've got this lovely dark green area. So we're kind of splitting the image in two almost. I'm going to take a couple of shots. Don't think the polarizer is really making much difference at the moment, but we'll take a couple of shots and here's the image. It's often small scenes like this that people walk past when they're coming along the path. We've got this beautiful pine, light catching just on the right hand side, rocks with the moss, and these beautiful twisting branches coming up over my head, and the light busting through behind. Beautiful. So I think I'm going to call it a day now. It's just started to cloud over. There's a little bit of a breeze picking up, and I think I've had the best of the light. Not that there was a lot of light, but we've had the best of it. But it's been a fantastic day. We started at the Rambling Bridge Falls, got some beautiful waterfall shots coming through there. Further along the path we had the nice panoramic autumn trees, and then even following down through the path we found some shots which just capturing the light, and it's been absolutely beautiful. Met some lovely people as well along the way. So I hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've been to the Hermitage Centre and around this particular area. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. Hoping to do a bit of a tour of the van in the next episode, and give you a little bit of background to how we purchased her, and ring the bell so that you get notifications. And thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.